I swear nothing hits better than that first sip of a freshly brewed hot coffee, especially in the wintertime. It literally tastes like heaven. Hello. I hope you have had an amazing holiday season so far. It feels so good to finally be sitting back down talking to you. You may or may not have noticed I took a little break from posting. I will say that if December was not the month you had hoped it would be, that is totally okay because mine went a little haywire. And by a little, I mean a lot. There was a lot of personal things going on. One being my grandfather did pass away. He actually found out that he had a stage 4 pancreatic cancer on November 16th. We had no idea prior to that he even had cancer, and then passed on December 15th. So seeing him decline so fast was really, really hard, and obviously dealing with his passing has been really hard because he was just such an amazing man. And then on top of that, our car decided to go down and we got a very expensive laundry list of things that needed to be done to it. And there was a couple other personal things, but it just felt like a lot. So I had to really take a step back, allow myself the time to process my emotions, deal with them, feel angry, feel sad, feel grief, feel it all, then come back on the other side of it, because that is something that I would not have done before. Usually I would emotionally just completely shut down, but that is not who I am anymore, and that's not who I want to be. Really, I'm trying to learn from the situation because ultimately life is going to toss things at you that are completely out of your control. It's up to you how you handle those things and what you can learn from them. So obviously there's things that happened that I could not control. So I'm trying to learn from how I handled things in the past to not sit in those emotions and let them eat me alive, and instead allow myself to feel them and give myself some grace and then come back even stronger and pull myself out of it. That's really what you have to do. Cooper actually found a really good TikTok, and he said to do not fear the storm, learn to dance in the rain. And that's what I tried to do during this storm, is try to figure out how I can grow from it, what I can learn from it, and respond to it in a better way than I would in the past. If your December or your holiday season was not what you had anticipated it to be, or things just feel really stressful, I know the holidays put a lot of pressure on everybody, but if you're feeling that, it's totally okay. No, you are not alone. I promise you, you have so many people that probably feel that way that you don't even realize that do. But I definitely did not anticipate this season going the way that it did. But all we can really do is just grow from it and learn from it and just learn to dance in the rain. So that's exactly why I'm here, and I am so happy right now just being able to sit down and talk to you. Today we're obviously going to be resetting for 2024, so I'm really excited to just bring in some fresh, new, positive energy into the new year and just see how much we can accomplish next year, because I feel like it's going to be a really good year, and I hope that you feel that way as well, and I can't wait to take it on alongside you. So go ahead and brew yourself a cozy cup of coffee or tea. I myself brewed a cozy gingerbread coffee that I got from Trader Joe's. It is so good. I'm so sad that it's going to be gone soon, but it tastes like a gingerbread cookie. So if you're able to get your hands on it still, go grab it. But that is what I have. Pause this video, go grab your cozy beverage, grab your notebook or your laptop, and let's get planning for 2024. We are all nice and cozy and ready to start planning. So I have my coffee, my laptop, I put on a cozy fire in the background. That's one thing I would say, is to make your planning and resetting session as cozy as you can. I feel like it makes it so much more fun, and it's meant to be a fun process. Just bring in all the good vibes, because that's what we want 2024 to have, is all the good vibes. So we need to bring the good vibes. And I do want to say I found this really cute laptop case on Amazon. So if you're in the market for a nice laptop case, I will link it down below, but it is just very clean. It's this really cool texture, and I love that you can actually still see the Apple logo, because I feel like a lot of cases hide it. At least the one I had before this did. Very sleek and very clean. So I'm actually going to be using Notion today, which I use Notion and I use an actual like physical paper planner, but I'll share with you guys exactly the format and template that I'm using for Notion if you use Notion as well. But before we get into anything with 2024, we really have to reflect on 2023. So take this time to reflect on your 2023 goals. I'm just going to be totally honest with you. I did not hit a lot of my 2023 goals, and that is totally okay. okay. I felt really guilty, and I actually contemplating sharing that I didn't hit a lot of them, but I want to be totally honest and real. That's not to say that I didn't accomplish anything. And I think that's really what you have to take from it, is even if you didn't hit any of your goals or most of your goals, there's other things you did accomplish and that you should be proud of. And just because you didn't hit a goal you wrote down December last year, it doesn't mean you're a failure. So you really do have to acknowledge what you didn't accomplish, because it's going to tell you if you need to do some tweaking, or maybe give you an idea of what worked or what didn't work, even if you still align with those goals, because you set those like 12 months ago. You change, circumstances change. It's bound to be where maybe you don't align with these things anymore, and that is okay. But you need to acknowledge that to yourself, so you're not trying to chase something that doesn't even align with your beliefs anymore. So whenever you are looking at your goals from last year, whether it is good or bad, approach it with a growth mindset. It's really going to help you see any setbacks you had as opportunities for growth and development, instead of just seeing them as failures. If you didn't hit a certain goal, it could be a sign that your priorities have shifted, or that just isn't something that you align with anymore. But you're not going to know that unless you actually reflect on it and ask yourself, why didn't I achieve this? Is it because of reason whatever, or is it because I don't actually want this anymore, or this isn't aligned with what I need or what I want out of life anymore? And taking the time to reflect on these goals is really going to increase your self-awareness, which is crucial if you're trying to hit any goal or just become the best version of yourself. It's really going to help you understand the things that did work for you and things that did not work for you. So what is it that we need to leave in 2023, and what do we need to bring into 2024? This is going to help you build so much resilience in the next year, because you're going to understand the setbacks that you had this past year, and you're going to learn how to overcome them, and that's going to build so much resilience, and you're going to be able to push past those and just grow even more than you did this year. Again, like I said, I didn't hit a lot of them. I think I hit like maybe 1 or 2 out of like the 10 that I set. I also do want to take this opportunity to say that if you want any to carry over into this year, that's fine too. Like, you can grow on other goals, like expand onto those things. Like, one that I set this past year was to become more lean and feel stronger and muscular. While I did do that this year, that's also going to be a goal for next year as well, because I want to grow on that. I want to keep expanding on that, because I want to become even more lean and more fit than I did this past year. It's okay for goals to carry over. There's no crime against that. So feel free, if there is a goal that you didn't hit, or that maybe you did hit but not as much as you wanted, just carry it over to 2024. As long as it still aligns with what you want, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay, so now that we looked at our goals, it's time to list our accomplishments. So really ask yourself, what did I accomplish in 2023? And write down every single one. I don't care how small it is, write it down, because even if you did not hit your goals for 2023, or hit a goal as, you know, at the potential that you wanted to hit it, you still accomplished other things, and those things also deserve the attention, because you did put in work and you put in effort, well, no matter how small it was, and that deserves to be celebrated, because you can take those wins, even if they're very, very small, and use that as momentum to carry yourself to tackle future goals. It's so easy to just be on to the next thing. I still am like that sometimes. Society, I feel like, has programmed us to be that way, but it's so important to, whenever you hit a goal or you do something that you are so proud of, even if it's not your ultimate goal or whatever, accomplishing something that maybe was nerve-wracking to you, or just really required you to go out of your comfort zone that you didn't even know you were going to do this past year, that deserves celebration. That is a win. So seriously, however small the accomplishment was, I don't care. I want you to celebrate that win and stop just focusing on being on to the next thing, because the work and effort and emotion you put into that small accomplishment, it matters and it deserves to be celebrated. And this is also a way to maybe bring to your attention something that is an aspiration to you that you maybe didn't realize was something you wanted more of. So this can help you create new goals, and then you can take that to guide your focus into the next year. So we're gonna do this one together, and we are going to jump into my Notion here. So I made this cute little template for our 2024 reset. So one thing I am very, very proud of is I got monetized on YouTube. That is a big goal for me. I am so grateful to all of you because I would not have hit that if it wasn't for you. So thank you for your continued support and for being here. Actually spelled monetized wrong. Oops. Monetized. Okay, I swear. It's time for another sip of coffee, I guess. I also did the 12-week year, which was such a great learning experience. I made videos about it prior. I think my June resets where I talked about it the most, but that was something I'm really proud of this year. I also turned 25, okay? Listen, literally anything that you feel is an accomplishment to you, that's what matters. And turning 25 was an accomplishment to me, so that's going on my list. Another accomplishment was we had a YouTube video hit 47K, and that's actually what got me monetized. So I cannot even explain to you the amount of gratitude I felt for that. Like it was actually my fall decorate with me, and that is one of my absolute favorite videos to film every single year. I just love it so much. So the fact that it was given so much love just filled my heart with so much joy. So that really was a moment that stood out to me this year. We also this year stuck to our whiteboard calendar and our planner, which is something that we needed to work on, especially me. I will keep to-do lists in my head. It's so toxic. I don't know why I do it. It makes myself so anxious because I feel like I'm always forgetting something. So making sure we stuck to our whiteboard and our planner was incredibly crucial because I am a real estate agent. I have this YouTube channel, and just making sure that I stay organized between work and life is just so essential. I also read more consistently, which was actually a goal that I set for 2023, so that was really nice. Oh, I can't spell read more consistently. I also grew my real estate business this year, which was so amazing. I worked with so many great people. I also expanded my editing this year. There's little things I'm learning here and there to try to grow my videos and my skill set because I really do love the creative process. I also grew my real estate YouTube channel. If you did not know, I have a real estate YouTube channel. It is linked in my description box. But I live in Charleston, South Carolina, so I do a lot of videos on Charleston and what it's like to live here and just all about here. So if you or anyone you know is looking to move here or visit here, definitely go check out that channel. I also drank more water this year. My Stanley has seriously helped tremendously with that because if you know me at all, I usually have more coffee running through my veins than I have water. So drinking more water was crucial. I say that as I drink more coffee. Oh, another thing I remembered is I baked a really delicious fall soup, which I also have that in a fall cook with me video. It gives me mom vibes, which I love mom vibes. I love feeling like I'm taking care of someone that I love, and I feel like soup is just a really comforting and cozy way to feel that. This expanded my horizons. Again, something super small, but it required a lot of effort, and it was just something I wanted to do for so long. And then this one is pretty cheesy and cliche, but I don't care. I created so many fun memories this year and so many growth experiences. So that is something I'm truly grateful for, and I really want to focus on those. So these are my accomplishments for 2023. I wanted to share them with you, not in the way of bragging or any sense of the way. I just wanted to show you that no matter how small something may seem, if it's an accomplishment to you, that's what matters, and that's what you should write down and be proud of it and grow on that. Make sure you write yours down, and then we will go on to the next step for our reset. So now it's time to answer some reflection questions, and looking at our goals and listing the accomplishments that we did have should help us get a really good idea on how to answer these questions. These force you to have the hard conversation with yourself, and ultimately that's going to help you grow even more into the best version of you that you want to be. So I have a couple questions here. They're interesting, but they're really good to ask yourself. So the first one is, what was the most significant challenges that I faced, and what did they teach me about myself, others, or life in general? I would say for me, the most significant challenge I faced was having trust in myself. I did not trust myself whenever I said I was going to do something, that I was actually going to do it. My biggest challenge was having trust in myself, what I said I would do. And it taught me that I have low self-confidence because I just need to create the evidence for myself. So not having that trust in myself stems from not having created the evidence for myself. And it's mostly with what I tell myself. It's not other people. If someone else needs something from me, I am reliable. I will be there and I will do everything I can to help. But whenever it comes to myself and keeping promises to myself, I just don't. That's just something I need to work on because I will hop to for someone else. But if it comes to myself, I just won't. The disappointment that I feel if I let someone else down is the same I should feel if I let myself down. That's what I learned this year, and that's something I need to work on next year. I would say my personal strength this year is to not react so emotionally and being able to pull myself out of that emotional state. And normally I would just shut down. So basically I no longer sit in my emotions. Don't rule me anymore. Next question is, what are 3 things that brought me the most joy or peace this year? Obviously, Cooper is the one person that has kept my head on straight. Definitely, I'm grateful for him. Definitely YouTube. You guys are amazing and I'm so grateful for all of you. Honestly, if I'm not making YouTube videos, I get really depressed. I've noticed that ever since I've created my channel, if I'm not making a YouTube video, my mental health just goes down the drain because I truly am so passionate about it. And another thing, obviously our cats, but I feel like that's so obvious. I think I would say breaking the cycle. I've tried really hard this year to hold myself accountable to breaking cycles I've seen myself in. So I'm gonna say breaking the cycle because I'm so tired of having the same issues or the same problems or complaining about the same things and not doing anything about them. So this year I try to be really aware of the same cyclical occurrences and tried to figure out and ask myself what I could do to stop that. So that's definitely something that brought me joy and peace because that's something I want to stop doing. That's something that really helped me grow. And the next question is, in what areas of my life have I felt a disconnect between my actions and the values I hold dear? How can I bridge this gap? I would definitely say my work, like my consistency with work, because I do value my job and my career. I value consistency and accountability and I want to hold myself to that standard. So I feel like the disconnect was there with work this year. Even though I did have some career accomplishments, I want to have even more by being even more consistent and more accountable, holding myself more accountable to those things. That's my answer for that. And lastly is, what intentions or themes do I want to set for the upcoming year and how do they align with my reflections from this year? So definitely more consistency, building self-confidence. I cannot type today. Wow, confidence. Jeez. Yeah, I would just say more consistency and building self-confidence, and that aligns with my reflections because I obviously want to be more consistent and hold myself more accountable to build self-trust. That's my answer for that question. So go ahead and take some time to answer a couple of these questions. You don't have to answer all of them, but I do think that they are a really great way to be brutally honest with yourself. Yeah, so I would definitely recommend answering these questions and then we'll move on to the next step of our reset. So now is the moment that we have all been waiting for. It's to actually set goals for 2024. So I'm gonna use a Notion template that Jenna Hong created. I will link it down below. Before we set any goals, I really want you to be very, very clear and very specific on what it is that you want. So the more specific that you're able to be, it's easier to feel the emotions of actually having those things, and in turn will align you with those desires. Think about putting in an order to the universe, or like if you go through a drive-through, right? Say we're going to Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. That actually sounds really good right now. But say you're going to Chick-fil-A. Whenever you pull up to the intercom and they ask you what you'd like, you don't say, oh, just give me a hot dinner. If you're wanting chicken strips, and you say that, and you pull up to the next window and they give you a grilled chicken sandwich, you're not gonna be very happy, right? It's the same thing whenever you're putting in an order to the universe. Instead of pulling up to the intercom and being very vague and saying, I want a hot dinner, tell them exactly what you'd like. I want a 12-count nugget meal with a large fry and a large Sprite extra Chick-fil-A sauce. And whenever you pull up to the next window, that's exactly what you get. So it's the same thing with setting goals and setting intentions and being so clear and specific about these things, because the universe will align you with those as long as you are specific. By being so specific, you can tap into the feeling of having those things already. So for instance, if you have a goal of buying a car next year, instead of just saying, I want to buy a car, be very specific. Say what car you'd like. Say, I want to buy a 4-door all-white Jeep Sahara Wrangler with an all-black interior. That's a lot more specific than just saying, I want to buy a car. Because if you have the specifications of that car, you can imagine driving down the highway with the windows down at sunset, feeling the leather steering wheel beneath your hands, just having all the clear, beautiful windows around you and blaring your favorite song. Like, you can really step into that moment because you are very specific about what it is you want. So keep that in mind whenever you are setting these goals. And you also want to create an action plan. The easiest way I really have found with this is to break down these goals into quarters. Plan these quarters based on what works best for you. So it really just depends on how you are, your lifestyle, your job. Everyone looks different. My day-to-day looks different than your day-to-day. You really can't compare, and it has to be what works best for you. It just makes it so much less daunting to break it down into these quarters and make it more bite-sized. It's essentially more manageable whenever you're going after these goals, because it can feel like a lot. So we're gonna jump into Notion here and we're gonna set some goals. So I'm actually using a template by Jenna Hong. I will link it down below. So one thing that I've really noticed in my 25 years on this earth is that setting more simplistic goals and not setting a ton is very beneficial for me. So I'm gonna keep it very specific and very to the point. For health and fitness, my goal is to be visibly leaner and stronger. So I know that sounds vague, but in my head, I do have an action plan that I am going to write out and everything to achieve this, and it's very all-encompassing. So this involves my drinking more water, my 10,000 steps every day, working out consistently. That's gonna embody all of that. So my action plan is gonna be very specific with that. And also, this is something that I had for 2023, but I'm carrying it over into 2024 just because I wanna expand on it. That's gonna be pretty much it for my health and fitness goal. So for career, I really want to double my income, which gives me a very specific number. That's one thing I would say is if you're wanting to make more money is to get a specific number in your head and then what you want to do with that once you have it. And you'll get excited to use it in those ways, and it's going to help you attract it to you even more whenever you're taking the actions towards it. This gives me a very specific number to work for, and I can't wait to hit it. And then my next goal is going to be to hit 20K YouTube subscribers. I've already said over and over again how much I enjoy being here, and I just can't wait to grow this community, and I'm so grateful for you and for being here. And I do have a content strategy that I'm going to use to hit this. Action plans are in the works here. Next are personal goals. So my first personal goal is going to be to read 2 books a month. And I did this a little bit this past year, but I really want to make sure I stay more consistent with it because I feel like that's whenever I'm my best. I love books. Most of my friends are in books, and I just love the coziness and peacefulness that reading brings. The next one is going to be to reprogram my subconscious. I know this also kind of sounds vague, but to be honest with you, mindset is key whenever you are trying to do anything in life, and I have really learned that over the last few years. I want to be able to master my mindset. That's something I have not dove into fully yet. It's something that I need to do, and I'm excited to do that next year. And I feel like once I do that, I'll be a whole different version of myself I have dreamed of for so long. I want to not default to a negative thought, or if I do, I want to be able to pull myself out of it immediately. What you focus on expands, and I want to focus on positivity. I want to focus on light. Next is to get back into my cooking era. I have not been in my cooking era recently. Between work and just personal things going on, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, cooking has just not been a priority. We've been getting like the pre-made stuff from Trader Joe's and Costco, and while that stuff is still better than fast food and it's not the worst thing out there, it's definitely not the best, and it does not compare to cooking your own meal. It's going to prioritize my health again, because if you're not cooking, I feel like your health is kind of on the back burner, and then in turn your goals are on the back burner because you're not showing up as the best version of you and the most energized and motivated version. So it's harder to get things done, and it's harder to want to get things done because you don't feel good. So cooking is going to be a big focus of mine. And my last goal is going to be to romanticize life. Things that we have to do don't have to be dreadful or mundane. Even if it's commuting to work or school or washing dishes, we don't have to sit there and be miserable. We can listen to our favorite song, our favorite podcast, our favorite TV show, whatever it is that makes us happy. We have a right to enjoy our lives and enjoy every moment. Even if it's not something we want to do, we can make it fun. So that is something I really want to incorporate next year, is even if I'm doing something I don't care to do, I'm gonna have fun with it and turn it into something that I can remember or just enjoy. Life is so precious and we deserve to enjoy every single minute of it, and that's something I really want to implement next year. After setting goals every single year, I love to create a vision board. Vision boards are incredibly powerful manifestation tools because every time you look at a vision board, it's gonna evoke emotions of having the things that are on the vision board, which in turn is going to align your energy to those things and essentially send your subconscious messages and reaffirms to yourself that those things are attainable, and then that is going to raise your vibrations out into the universe and attract those things to you as you're taking action towards them. It's really going to make you more receptive to opportunities that come to you that align with those desires. Looking at a vision board every single day is going to, over time, shift your mindset, and by doing this, the vibrations you're putting out into the universe are going to intensify, and that's what attracts these things to you. And for some reason, every time I created one, I felt like whatever I put on the vision board had to stay and it had to be there for, say, the entire year. That is not true. You can totally change your vision board whenever you want. Whenever you feel like you need fresh inspiration or fresh energy, change it. Go on there, find new pictures, do whatever it is feels good to you and that aligns with those things that you're going after. Vision boards are meant to be fun and they're meant to be creative. Whenever you're making your vision board, have so much fun with it. Put the things that you love on there that make you happy and you're excited to get to and do. You can have a vision board in so many different ways. You can make it your phone wallpaper. You could have an actual physical vision board, which I usually have both, but I usually create one on my computer. So I usually use canva.com and I will get all of my images from Pinterest, and I just take whatever time I want and just have fun going through there and finding pictures that I really love, and I save them to my computer, and then I go to Google and I type in the image size for whatever device it is in pixels that I'm putting it on. So say I'm making a wallpaper of my vision board for my iPhone, I'll just type in to Google like image size in pixels for iPhone 14. It'll bring up whatever the pixel size is for the iPhone, and then I go to Canva, and whenever it says to create a design, I put in those measurements, and then it brings up a blank canvas for me, so it's exactly the size that I need, and I just insert those pictures in there, and I'll do that for my laptop, I'll do it for my watch, I'll do it for pretty much everything. I just love having it on every single device so that I have zero excuse to not see this vision board every single day, and most likely multiple times a day. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna find some pictures on Pinterest and see what I can come up with for my vision board for this year. So just like I said, have fun with this and enjoy it because it's meant to bring in really good vibes and really good energy to your goals. So here is my finished product. I'm very, very happy with it, and I can't wait to make it my wallpaper on literally everything. All of these pictures get me so excited to work towards my goals and make me want to actually get out of bed every day. And the very last thing that I want to say is to create a really good planning system that works for you. Planning is essential whenever you are working towards your goals. Personally, for me, I like to use Notion as my digital planner, but I also have like an actual planner. That can be a lot for some people to have both. I know people prefer either or. I like both personally. So I have Notion, like I said, and I use Jenna Hong's template that's linked below. And then this is the actual planner that I use. It's a Day Designer from Amazon, and I think they actually sell these at Target as well. I'm also a very big tracker. I love putting pen to paper versus digitally. I like to have copies of things digitally, but as far as tracking, I love pen to paper, and I actually purchased these journals from Amazon. I know I went a little bit crazy, but they each have their own purpose. So this one is like for our to-do lists, like master to-do lists, and they get put into this planner here. This is also kind of like a brain dump journal and like manifestation. It's like kind of like an everything notebook. And then I have this black one. This is for YouTube. And then I have an orange one that is going to be like all of my health and wellness things that I research and learn about. I want to have it all in one spot. I love Barbara O'Neill, I love Darren Oline, and any facts that I can learn that are really important to health, I want to have a place to put them. And this gray one is for all the nonfiction books that I read. Any of the tidbits of information that I find really valuable, I write it down in here so I have it all in one spot. And then lastly, we track our finances, and I know there's apps for this, but I personally, again, love to just write these things down and be able to refer back to it super easily. So we bought a dark green one for our finances. And the reason I bought so many of these is because I love the way they are organized. So in each one, they have a table of contents, and also all of the pages are already numbered, which is so nice. And then it also has a little pocket in the back. It honestly checked every box for organization that we needed, so we went ahead and went a little crazy and bought different colors for each purpose. But truthfully, I like to have each notebook have its own purpose because it keeps me more organized. I'll link these below as well if you are interested in buying some yourself. Definitely make sure you find a planning system that is going to keep you on track and is going to keep it as simple for you as possible and keep it as organized for you as possible, so you're not as stressed and can actually focus on what you need to focus on instead of trying to rack your brain if you're forgetting something. I've also been doing the 5-minute journal, and this has been helping with my goal of reprogramming my mindset, and it just makes sure that I'm staying positive first thing in the morning and right before I go to bed. And it helps me to focus on the good parts of the day because it's so easy to think about the negative. So having the 5-minute journal has really helped me to stay focused on the good and what I can do every day to make it a good day. If you're needing a little nudge towards journaling or towards boosting your mindset, I definitely recommend trying the 5-minute journal. All right, you guys, well, that is going to be our 2024 reset. I hope you're super excited for this coming year because I know in my heart it is going to be an amazing one. And I hope you got some inspiration from our goal setting and planning and just all the things that we did today. I hope it gave you some motivation and ideas of how you want to reset for 2024. If it did, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below. I'm so excited to take on 2024 right alongside you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.